everybody, it's Mr.Harland again for video number 2, and this time I was hoping we could go back in time to 2021 for this video this time. And the reason we're doing that is because it made almost national headlines, basically what I'm saying. And in a way it somewhat did. In a way it did, and in a way it didn't. Now I'm losing my train of thought. Shit, nah, I'm just messing with you all. But this story came out of Volusia County in Florida. It's the story of a 12-year-old boy and 14-year-old boy who broke into a home, found weapons, and had a shootout with the police. So deputies at that time shot at a 14-year-old girl on Tuesday night after she and a 12-year-old boy fled from a group home and broke into a house, found multiple guns inside, and opened fire on deputies, according to Sheriff Mike Chitwood. The girl was shot in the abdomen and the arm, and at the time was in stable condition. She's been out of the hospital for some time now, while the boy surrendered and was not injured. The sheriff's office said, "I don't know what to say. Where have we gone wrong that a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement?" Chitwood said. The sheriff's office on Wednesday released over 9 minutes of edited video showing footage from body cameras and a helicopter looking down at the scene. She's pointing the gun behind the trash can, one officer says in the footage shortly before the deputies opened fire. Charging affidavits for the juveniles indicate they are charged with attempted murder of a law enforcement officer and armed burglary. The boy is 4 feet, 11 inches tall and weighs 78 pounds. While the girl is 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 140 pounds, and the documents state. The affidavits include details from an interview with the boy in which he admits to shooting repeatedly at officers while using a handgun, a shotgun, and an AK-47 that they had taken from the home. He told investigators that they saw deputies outside the home, at which point the girl said, "I'm gonna roll this down like GTA," referring to the video game Grand Theft Auto. According to the affidavits, the boy told detectives he knew they were cops, and when he shot them because he wanted to harm them. There are the words of a 12-year-old, Chitwood said at a news briefing. The startling spree of gunfire came as Chitwood insisted deputies repeatedly tried to de-escalate the situation, make personal contact with juveniles, and were forced to hide behind trees amid waves of shooting. "We tried to de-escalate. We threw a cell phone into the house to try and talk to them. The 14-year-old comes out of the garage with a pump shotgun, levels it at deputies, and despite warnings to drop it, she walks back into the garage, comes back out a second time, and that's when deputies opened fire." The boy has been in foster care since at least 2017, according to the sheriff. He does not have a prior criminal history, but made 2 threats in school this year, once threatening to throw a brick at an administrator, and 5 days later threatening to kill a student and spread his guts all over the bleachers, Chitwood said. The sheriff said on Tuesday that the girl had burned down a home in April, but on Wednesday he corrected herself, saying the girl had set fires in a wooded lot that came close to burning homes. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the officer's use of force at the request of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, according to FDLE spokeswoman Gretel Plessinger. The FDLE will examine the facts of what happened, develop a timeline, and then provide information to the state attorney, who will make a determination about whether the use of force was justified, she said. According to authorities, the children ran away from the group home around 5 p.m. Tuesday and evaded police for hours. At about 7:30 p.m., a passerby told deputies he heard glass breaking at a home nearby, and deputies found there had been a forced entry into the home, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies contacted the homeowner, who said that nobody should be home and that there was a handgun, pump shotgun, and an AK-47 inside, as well as a large amount of ammunition in the sheriff's office had said. As deputies surrounded the home and tried to establish a rapport with the boy and the girl, they were met with gunfire, the sheriff said. The sheriff's office said the children had fired at deputies on 4 separate occasions over about 35 minutes. At one point, the 14-year-old girl emerged from the home and threatened to kill Sergeant Donnie Maxwell, Chitwood said. He said officers took multiple rounds of gunfire before they were left with no other choice but to return fire. After the girl was shot, the boy, who had been armed with an AK-47, surrendered to deputies, according to the sheriff's office. At least 8 deputies were involved in the incident, the sheriff's office had said. At his press conference Tuesday, Chitwood praised his officers for their restraint in the face of waves of gunfire. Deputies did everything they could tonight to de-escalate, and they almost lost their lives to a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. He said if it wasn't for their training and their supervision, somebody would have ended up dead. The home, a 30-acre farm in Deltona, just north of Lake Monroe, belongs to A.J. Bedizel, who told CNN he and his 2 daughters had gone to a Publix grocery store Tuesday evening before the break-in. When he returned, he saw police had surrounded the place, and heard their scream into a megaphone for those inside to come out with their hands up. He said he did not know the 2 children who wreaked havoc on his home. They broke windows, shot up into the ceiling, and destroyed his side of the house, he said. Bedizel said he was thankful that nobody was home at the time, but he hasn't been allowed to return home and nowhere else to go. He has nowhere else to go. We've been violated, and I don't know what the next step is. The healthy step for me is for the girls to get past this, he told CNN. I don't know if my girls will feel safe. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I'm at a loss. Chitwood denounced the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice in particular harsh terms, calling the department a failure and a fraud. The sheriff also criticized the Florida United Methodist Children's Home. For some reason I thought it said states in there. Shit. The Florida United Methodist Children's Home, where the boy and a girl had been staying. The sheriff's office said it handled close to 300 calls at the FUMCH in 2020. After the girl was charged with setting the fires, DJJ, who's the gatekeeper, decides that arson isn't a violent crime, Chitwood said at news conference, so they're going to return her back to her mother. Well, her mother obviously can't control her, so they placed her into foster care, the sheriff said, adding that the teen ran away from foster care several times before being sent to FUMCH on May 30th, and then we all know what happened on June 1st, Chitwood said. The situation is tragic, and this is the result of a system failing our children. Kitwana McTire, the president of CEO of FUMCH, said in a press release, these children are in desperate need of care in the appropriate setting, which is a higher level of care than we provide. McTire said that the 2 juveniles had been in the emergency shelter care program, which currently serves 3 children. As a result of this event, we will be placing a moratorium on our campus emergency shelter program for the next 30 days, and then we'll cease to provide that service until such time, if and when that we feel that we can do it in a safe manner for the children coming into care and simultaneously protect our staff, who do a valiant job at caring for our children every day, McTire said. At this juncture, the level of children who are being sent to us through emergency shelter care at times is beyond the scope of our capabilities to provide the care required and limits who we can serve as a part of our mission. McTire said the group has seen a higher level of children who have repeatedly come through the system with escalated behaviors in recent years. Still, she noted that the home is required by law to contact law enforcement if a child leaves the property. So many of the 300 calls to the sheriff's office in 2020 were not emergencies. FUMCH was founded in 1908 as an orphanage and continues to provide care for children. McTire emphasized in the statement that the emergency shelter care program is the only one of part of its services. We are a child welfare facility, not a secure care facility, McTire said. The Department of Juvenile Justice told CNN in a statement that FUMCH is not a DJJ program. The events that unfolded last night in Volusia County are tragic, and the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice, DJJ is thankful that there were no casualties as a result of this incident, the DJJ said. As an agency, we serve alongside the various partners that make up Florida's juvenile justice system, including law enforcement, the courts, state attorneys, and community providers, to hold youth accountable for their actions. The statement said, DJJ does not tolerate violence that jeopardizes the public safety of our communities. And that is it for video number 2. It was certainly something crazy and will be memorable for quite some time, and I wouldn't doubt there's an anniversary about it. Well, that there would be an anniversary of such a thing. But anyways, that'll be it for today's video number 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Do not worry, I will be making more videos again someday. Every Monday, and that's a promise, because frankly I'd rather be back in my own home and not this terrible Airbnb with shitty-ass Wi-Fi. Believe me, if I could send this Airbnb and its greedy landlords to the deepest fiery pits of hell on Earth, I would, because it's terrible here. I actually hate it with a passion. But anyways, that'll be it. I love you all, and let's go Blues. goodbye, everyone. See you all next Monday. Goodbye now.